Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Binding of Isaac, Repentance. For today we are going to, everyone's upside down, play with Tainted Cain, finally. So Tainted Cain got patched recently. Rather than having fixed recipes for everything, his recipes are now seed dependent, so they're effectively going to be random outside of a couple of them, which are always fixed. So those recipes are pretty important because, fortunately, because of how they work, they're still just making this character incredible. So we'll get to that when we get to that. There's a bone heart from the get-go, which is wild. I'm actually just gonna leave every single consumable alone and just be on my way. My only goal for this run is going to be the boss rush. Everything else is secondary, but if we're lucky we might be able to do effectively everything. It kind of depends on how the run is feeling today. I do need to get a bomb at some point though, to make all my wishes come true. But for now we're mostly just gonna focus on trying to make it through the first couple of floors. Not really worry about what we're going to get too much. There's the bomb. And for the most part, it's just going to be a matter of just trying to get easily reproducible and memorizable recipes. So as long as we can do that, that's good. We can actually attack enemies with the bag, so even though we could take the easy route of using the barrel to kill all these enemies, we can do this. It doesn't deal a lot of damage, but it deals like, I think it's 3 damage per hit or something like that, and for these enemies that's plenty. We can destroy poops instantly with our bag as well. There's 2 more bombs. That's a lot of money. That's actually really nice, because one nice and easy to remember recipe is 7 coins and another thing. If we take 8 coins into our bag, it is going to be the portable slot active item every single time. And I do not yet want that. I will get back to that, but for now, I'm just gonna look at other stuff. If we do this, we get the D12, which I'm not interested in. If we do this, we get the pack of cards, which could be interesting. I'm actually going to take the 5 coins as well. If we add a heart to this, then we get pay to play, which again could be interesting, but not super excited about that. Let's see what's in here. That's just an item, but that's actually not. Let's add another heart to this. That's pretty good. Okay, so this can create anything effectively if we just take damage, so that's obviously rather nice. I'm gonna see if the secret room is over here, and it is. Well, there is something inside. I was gonna say there's not much, but there is an item, which means another bone heart, because every time you pick up an item in a secret room, it is going to drop a bone heart as well. That still works for active items as well. If you create a second item, then your first item will turn into a bunch of consumables. So that's pretty great. I will probably blow up that one. Let's see what this does. That's a ladder. Not terribly excited about ladders, but that's fine. I'm actually just gonna take this, try to blow this one up, get some more money. I mean, the ladder's fine, but it's not like super exciting. There is a lot of intricate detail regarding a lot about this character. I'm not really gonna go into it too much. I'm just gonna try to make this as doable of a run as possible, and that is gonna, well, for me, it's going to require a little bit of finicking around and trying to get as much as possible going here. Mostly just trying to collect as many consumables and as much money as possible. There is a lucky coin there, which it does create different recipes. And that's just 99 bombs, which I don't hate. I'm thinking about how much I don't hate that, and whether or not it's worth using these 2 bone hearts for. Time is completely irrelevant for this run, or any run for the matter with this character, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I'm just gonna... This seems like a waste, because 99 bombs is actually really good. I'm actually just going to take that, because that's just going to make life a lot easier, I think. So we got 23 coins right now. That is wonderful. That's a nice amount. We should probably be using our bombs at least a little bit offensively here, or just against myself. We did drop some money there. I'm trying to just not die now because I didn't expect Pin to be this big of a deal. Unfortunately, he decided to play a little rough and then dropped a troll bomb at the end as well, so that's cool. So obviously we're probably not going to need as many bombs anymore. I will just take all the bombs and put them in my bag. 24 coins. I don't know if there's anything left we would like to blow up at this stage. There could be something in the sacrifice room, for instance. Oh, this, but we don't really need to use a bomb for that. But simultaneously, we have 99 of them, so we might as well. High Priestess, but it's the rough one, so I'm just going to put that in the bag as well. And the Troll Bomb. Could quickly look for the Super Secret Room as well, since we do have some bombs to play with once again. And there's not that many places where it can realistically be, so let's just try a couple of these places here, for instance. And more maybe, also one over here. There we go. And that's 5 pills, including a horse pill. Now, pills are interesting with this character, because I often struggle to get any tear rate, so if we get a tears down, then life is just miserable. So apparently that's just a regular pill for that. That is a fly, which is fine, but not like super exciting. That's more curse rooms, which I'm also not super excited by. If we get 3 more pills, then we can create PhD, because that's just a fixed recipe with this character. So I'm just going to leave that alone for now. We get a burning basement. We don't necessarily need to get a devil deal, but it would be kind of nice to just get the angel chances started. It would also be nice to stop getting Cursed Darkness. But we're just gonna not see for yet another floor, unfortunately. Now, as far as easy to reproduce and easy to memorize recipes go, this is obviously not ideal. Robo Baby 2.0, I'm not really too excited. Battery pack, I mean, it does have its uses, but I'm not gonna use any of them right now. I'd love like a soul heart somewhere along the line as well. That would just make life a lot easier. I don't like that the mod is showing up every time I do this. Can I F3? Nice. And that's just gonna stay hidden. Very cool. Nice that they made just a button for hiding it, because I really want to have as little information on screen as possible. I think people are starting to realize that you can actually just get the recipes from the seed as well, and then you don't have to worry about getting specific things, which you don't really need to, but there used to be a time where this character was just almost overpowered, one would say, and with almost, I mean, certainly. it was an overpowered character, but it's gotten to the point where he's a little bit more reasonable now, but it's still, you can still just very much cheese it if you take the time to do it. And it used to be that you could just very easily create Eden's Blessing 13 times and then just start a new run with another character, and you'd start the run with 13 items. And particularly for difficult characters, that's just really helpful. So I guess I can see why they changed it, but it is a little annoying for a lot of people. But fair enough. We're just gonna keep moving on. I'm not loving these floors. Also, I created a health up just because if you don't get an easy recipe for health ups, then they can be a little fiddly to actually try and get. Plus, we didn't really have much health to play with anyway. The default health of Tainted Cain just isn't that much. So I didn't mind just having a little bit more to go with. I could arguably use more bombs, because I'm not really using any bombs right now. We have 1 million. But I'm not really going to be too worried about that just yet. This seems worthwhile to explore at least a little bit. Didn't expect that, but I'll take it. Alright. we'll get back to why that could be interesting, but for now we're just going to move on. Because I'd like to reach those chests at least. You can actually open chests from a distance with the bag as well. Which is kind of nice for instances like this where the red chest had some spiders inside it. That is several bombs. I could just create the bomb consumable. I want to still just keep collecting money. That's a lot of bombs, actually. I'm kind of curious. I guess we could just put 1 coin with this recipe and see what we get. It is an easy to remember recipe. Maybe not as easy to actually acquire. But ultimately, as long as it's easy to remember, then that's good enough for me. Ice Cube, baby. I mean, why not? Let's just put this in there. tempting. But a little bit messy if it goes wrong. So we're just gonna leave that one alone right now as well. Just gonna use a bomb for this. Just because it makes life slightly easier. I'm also kind of looking for an arcade room right now because that would also simplify things a little bit. We can take that item that's on sale and turn that into consumables, which is obviously pretty good. Guillotine. Slowly but surely just turning this into a portable slot, but fair enough. Dull razor, that's not super... I mean, because of the items we're currently putting in this, we're just not going to get that many super exciting recipes. So that's fair enough. Let's just take the portable slot and then just, for now, be on our way. We're going to use that a lot later. It'll definitely come back to haunt us in a minute. But for now, we're just going to keep moving on slowly but surely. We've spent almost 10 minutes in this basement alone. The 99 bombs probably was the right choice. It does speed up some of these fights a lot. I'll leave that bomb there for now. Oh, we don't have any keys at all. That's annoying. That could come back to bite us, but hopefully not anytime soon. Definitely should be using more bombs. I don't love that we don't have soul hearts either, but fair enough. Didn't get an arcade room on this floor yet either. Or any keys, surprisingly, but fair enough. I'll fight the boss. It is Little Horn. It is not the horrible one, I think. It's a little hard to see what color this one is and if it's the champion that makes the fire bombs. I don't think it is, though. Trying really desperately to hit him with bombs, failing mostly. Gotta watch out for that hole. We could go for devil deals. It's just, I feel like what we have right now just isn't super in the mood to try and get that to work, so there we go. Can we get a key? We can get a key and a soul heart, so both of those are quite nice. It means we can go into our item room over here. I don't know where my secret room is, and quite frankly, I don't even know where to begin. Which is a little infuriating, but fair enough. And in terms of recipes, we don't really have that much to work with either. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put all of that in there. I'm actually just gonna take the bombs because I'm not super impressed by ladders. Even though they could be pretty good, but eh. What was this again? That was that, and then this could make bigger tiers, which arguably is almost interesting, so we do have that. This is dog food, really? Oh, I did not actually realize that. That's actually pretty good, because this means we can mess around with sacrifice rooms a lot more, if we really wanted to. Which could be interesting. For now, I'm just going to leave that idea alone. Is it possible for the secret room to be... I mean, basements are always wild, so it's nice that we have a lot of bombs to work with. So we can at least try some of these weird places. But sometimes a secret room in the basement is just next to one other room, and then you are just in trouble to try and find it. So it's rare, but it does happen. And it's not great when it does, when you're actually trying to look for it. But yeah, fair enough. I might play with the sacrifice room a little bit, though. I'm just going to take all this money. Because theoretically it could... No, it couldn't be over here, but there's a shopkeeper there, so why not? That's not super exciting. This is taking a while, but I'm also just like keeping in mind that we don't have many good recipes right now. So sometimes you just get a run where you just get everything given to you in a good way. Right now we have a way to at least create some extra consumables with that like, little pouch that we have, but other than that we don't have a lot going for us, which is not ideal. Hermit and stars, I mean I'll just take this and leave. Create the dog food. Put a coin in there. And I think I'm just gonna go to the next floor. I mean, I'll check the big room there to see if my secret room's over there, because I really would not mind finding my secret room right now. I think that could be very useful. So let's just put that over there. There it is. Nice. Of course it is. Cannot actually reach that without taking damage because of our key count. I'm actually just gonna bomb this real quick. And I'll take the money, actually. There is another lucky penny. I mean, we could get that key. Yeah, I'll just do that, actually. Not ideal. It'll work. We got a luck up penny in our bag, so we can at least maybe create an interesting recipe. We get a little bit of safety. Ordinarily, if you get a run where your recipes aren't just garbage, then you can often go for like Lord of the Flies or the Poop transformation, and you'll be able to either get flight really quickly because of that. You'll have a little bit of damage to work with. Right now we just have a lot of bombs, and that's just gonna have to do. We at least have a way to make dog food, which isn't too complicated of a recipe, so that's good. And hopefully we can just make that work. Ultimately, if we find an angel room, then we're gonna be okay, but until that point, it's gonna still be a little bit dicey unless I really want to spend a long period of time in a secret room, but again, we'll get to that when that becomes irrelevant. I will just take all of these. Lucky foot. Alright, that makes pills good. So, from this point on, we can start taking every pill in the game without having to worry about anything. Obviously, with PhD, that's a little bit better, but I mean, this will have to do for now. I'm just going to leave the remaining consumables on this floor for now, because I think right now I just want to do a little bit of exploring, and maybe we can just get some good stuff on the way. For now, though, it is a little bit fiddly to be doing this with effectively 0 stat ups. We have some shot speed from our stem cells, but that's unfortunately the only thing we have. But other than that, we don't got much going for us except for a large quantity of bombs. And again, oftentimes you just want to be able to get something going. I find tier 8 probably one of the hardest things to get, but since we do have a lot of bombs and there are mushrooms on these floors, we might be able to get something to work with that, which would obviously be really nice. We can destroy the angels fairly easily. We can get more devil deal chance or angel room chances by just blowing up angel statues, so that's nice. I would like to have the recipe for the portable slot in my bag of crafting before entering an angel room, though. And because of that, I don't really want to put anything inside my bag that I don't particularly want to use. This is a little bit of an awkward location, because it's just going to be really useful. I'll actually take this just because, as I said before, that we're not going to get bad pills anymore. Luck up, not bad. I think that's going to create some more chests as well, so that is always a good time. Anything to just create more consumables with this character is so strong, because you can just make the world with it, which is just wonderful. No secret room there, unfortunately, but fair enough. This is also not a great enemy type to be dealing with when you have no build, but fair enough. We do got bombs, experimental pill once again. HP up, not bad. Let's just blow up everything here. Any pill could be interesting. Telepills, that's not quite... It's good to know what telepills is, I guess, because that could have been troublesome. Fortunately, it was not, but fair enough. It's mostly just worrying because of angel room chances. That was a really good dodge. That was just proper, solid way how to do that room. Figured I'd try something different because I never do this room with bombs, so... You know what, why not throw a bomb in the middle of the room and see what happens? It worked out just as expected. Which is not great. I'm not really used to using these bombs defensively, unfortunately, but that's fine. There is the super secret room waiting for us. Most super secret rooms, you do also get bone hearts if you get an item inside it. There is a handful of exceptions to that rule. Primarily in rooms where... come on. Well, this one. Honestly, this one is an exception to the rule. Specifically, the one that has an eternal heart inside it, because I'm pretty sure that if we're gonna try to create any active item in there, it is just gonna drop a whole bunch of eternal hearts in there instead, rather than bone hearts. That's just how certain layouts work. Which is actually good, because I could actually really use some eternal hearts, but for now I'm just leaving that over there. It's nice that we have a large quantity of health going on. It does make life a lot easier. I might still want to investigate like a couple recipe combinations, like 6 coins and then like 1 key and 1 bomb, just to see if that creates anything interesting. Because again, it's just an easy to remember, easy to reproduce recipe for the most part, and if it's just something that can create a transformation of any kind, and that is genuinely like quite often worthwhile, so it would be kind of nice. So I'm actually just going to try to do that. There is a charged key, which does give you different recipes than a regular key would do. So I'm trying to avoid that just because it's not as easy to acquire. And if we can't really get anything good going on here, then ultimately that's fine. I haven't seen an arcade room yet, and that kind of surprises me on the one hand, and it's just more just a nuisance on the other. I guess I can go with 3 bombs. Or let's do 2 bombs first and a key. And then maybe we'll just add some charged keys to the mix. I just want to try a couple things. How to jump. I mean, it's an active item, and that in itself is actually kind of nice, but not particularly what I'm looking for right now. So let's just add this. Sacrificial dagger is not bad, but like not super exciting. There's the cards again. So at this point, I'm just going to try to create anything, really. I'm going to put the charged key inside the bag as well. Maybe not run into spikes. That would be a good idea. There we go. We get a pencil. That's actually okay. That's at least kind of interesting. So I will take that. Unfortunately, not a arcade room. No temperance machine either, which are both, they're 2 things that are quite useful. So unfortunately about that, but fair enough, I suppose. We'll just have to make do with what we got. I will blow up all the mushrooms. We do have the bombs for it. Tears up, very nice. That's exactly the kind of pills you're looking for. I could do the challenge room, I guess, but it is still a little bit fiddly to do. I mean, it doesn't really hurt. Also, I found the super secret room. I don't have a lot of money right now, so I might want to change that a little bit. There is a soul heart in there. So that's actually quite nice. It does make life a little bit safer. Butter is there. I've set up my mods to not show items description, but it still shows trinkets. Mostly because it's just, the item descriptions aren't really doing much of anything, because you're never actually picking up an item. So there's no real point to show off what they do. So I'm just going to leave those alone. Unfortunately, I'm tempted to pick up butter just because it's the way. Butter is actually kind of interesting, I suppose, though, because I kind of want to get rid of it for purposes, because then I can just pick it up because it becomes a pedestal item. But I don't want to get rid of it immediately. But it is nice to have the option at least. I want to see how much... Part of me kind of thinks I should do my shenanigans on the next floor, just because we don't have a lot of consumables to work with anymore, mostly because I picked up so many. But also just because we're not getting arcade rooms or temperance machines. And we still want to also just have another... just another caves floor left, and caves just isn't that difficult. It is, again, just going very slowly, but there's unfortunately only so much you can do about that. So I'm actually just going to take all of this, and I'll just take that with me to the next floor. Maybe we can create something with that Eternal Heart. Maybe we'll get an Angel Room as well. Not guaranteed, unfortunately, but it would be rather nice. We could blow up the donation machine for just a whole bunch of money as well, and I probably will at some point, honestly. But for now, I'm just going to keep on going. Let's just take that. I could have probably put that in the bag, but fair enough. There is still a bomb in my secret room as well that I could have taken, but I'm not really too bothered. Bambino is pretty annoying. But with bombs, he's usually not too bad, provided you can avoid the swipes at least a little. There we go. 4 bombs. No angel room. That's fine. I'm just going to heal that, I guess. Take 1 key. And just put a bunch of stuff in there. And then we'll just be on our way. Maybe we'll be able to make something good. If you have Eternal Hearts in your recipe, you just have higher odds of getting Angel Room items as well. And that can obviously be very good. These chests don't matter too much because we can just swipe them. I will take this, even though we already know what the Tears Up pill is. And I'll take the... I don't know what I want to do here. I kind of want to at least make an item with this. Not really that, but I might actually just take this, because I don't really want to use any more consumables from this point on. Because it's just a little bit nicer if I have a lot of consumables to work with in a moment. Actually, 2 bombs. Just, you know what? Alabaster box. I don't think I can really make that work any meaningful way, but fair enough. Just having a little bit of a think right now, don't mind me. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to a slightly medium-sized room. Let's just go to one that's near the actual secret room as well. That's Judas's tongue, very cool. Why am I trying to bomb to that? I'm not interested in that at all. Telepills. Let's just King Baby. I mean, it is part of the conjoined transformation. It's not the greatest baby in the world, but it'll do. Mostly I just wanted to get rid of all that stuff. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. Occasionally getting hit on purpose, of course, to drop a couple of consumables on the floor. Very nice. Let's just see if we get an angel room. If we don't get an angel room, there will be one flavor of shenanigans. And if we do get an angel room, there will be a slightly different but extremely similar flavor of shenanigans going on. We'll just see what we have to do. But either way is more or less going to lead to the same end result. First of all, though, I think I'm going to try to get 8 coins in my bag. Because again, I would like to have the recipe for a portable slot available, just because it makes life a little bit simpler. There's a lot of planning that went into this, and most of the planning revolved around me at least getting something of a start, and unfortunately my start is entirely just health. Which is not great, but it'll have to do. There's 2 more coins. Just gonna start putting things in here. I'll actually just blow this up. That's just going to create a lot of pennies. And that's exactly what I want. So we're just going to look for the boss room now. And then we are going to spend, hopefully, a large quantity of time in the angel room. And if not, then we're going to spend a large quantity of time in a different room. It's going to be exciting either way. Range up. That lucky foot is at least giving us something to work with right now, but it's not going to be our main source of fun stuff. There is a lot of consumables on this floor already, so that is actually looking pretty promising. Unfortunately, our damage is still just base damage, but that's hopefully going to change when we get to the angel room at least. I'll just leave genuinely everything on the floor. There's really no reason to pick anything up right now. I'm a little curious what's in my super secret room, just because there could be an interesting layout of that. There is an item waiting for us here with... I'll get the key, I guess, just because we're at 0, and that could end up being a little bit of a problem. Also, the main reason why I'm not focusing on boss rush right now, I'm really mostly doing just Mega Satan for the sole purpose that that's the only place where it's not going to be certain whether or not we're just going to go full-on shenanigans for the remainder of the run. If we don't get the Delirium Portal in there, then the run just ends. So I'd rather spend as little time as possible on this run. As you can see, it's going very well with our 26 minutes caves too. So it's working out swimmingly. Carrion Queen, that's not too bad. We have a lot of bombs. Provided I can hit with the bomb, of course. That is a big if, but technically not impossible. If I can just sort of combine... I cannot place bombs very quickly, I'm starting to realize. It's fine. It's all working out. We did get an angel room, so that's good. Just gonna leave all that there. I'm gonna just move this bomb slightly. So it's not in front of the door. Oh my god. Okay, so that's actually incredible, believe it or not. Ideally you at least have an item, because if you pick up an item, then it is just gonna drop another Eternal Heart. But since we have a lot of money, we can make another portable slot. That's gonna create another Eternal Heart. And it also created a couple of coins, so that's just nice. I'm also gonna just use the portable slot here for a moment to try to get specific consumables in this room. There's a golden bomb there, which is actually kind of interesting, but not quite for the purposes that I'm going for right now. It's spawning things kind of all over the place, which is not ideal. I'm just going to use all my money on this as well, because I don't need it for anything else. That troll bomb was cool. It did move things around a lot in a way that I did not enjoy. But we do at least have 8 bombs to work with, I guess. We got pretty fly. There's another troll bomb. We get a lot of health. I don't love that lucky penny over there because that could have been pretty nice. It's just a regular penny, honestly. And overall, pretty poor luck. Pretty bad luck, all things considered. Because realistically, I would have liked just a whole bunch of coins, but unfortunately, that did not quite happen. And also, I have to be rather careful with what I'm grabbing here. Because I don't accidentally want to pick up more than I bargained for. So there's currently 5 Eternal Hearts here. We're going to make that a 6th one. That also created yet another Troll Bomb, interestingly enough. But also we are at a certain amount of coins. I think we have just barely enough in this room. We do have to be a little bit careful here because we genuinely cannot make a mistake. Which is a little frightening, but fair enough. It'll do. Just gonna leave that in there for now. And we're just gonna walk slowly around and get one more coin in there. That's the dream. Let's just take this.
Shot speed up.
Very carefully move everything around. Get the bag in our hands. I kind of want to get rid of this lucky penny because it's very much in the way. So there we go. That's another portable slot. So that will be Eternal Heart number 7. And 8 as well. Did I create 2 of them? Yeah, it did. Alright, cool. Sure. I guess that can technically happen. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just count it one more time just to be sure. Just gonna grab all the Eternal Hearts here. Grab the Soul Heart regularly. And now just drop the pill because it's in the way. I want to replace that red heart with one more Eternal Heart. And that is a guaranteed Sacred Heart. So our damage went up rather significantly because of that. Unfortunately, our tear rate's a little bit down, but Sacred Heart's just a really nice thing to have. And for the rest, I'm not really too sure what I want to do here because there is a lot of consumables here. So I'm tempted to just see what I can make, really. So let's just do this. Half a hearts count as full hearts as well, which is just a nice thing to have in your bag. That's a candle, which honestly is tempting. It's at least some guaranteed damage as well, but we don't really need it as much anymore. Let's just put the pill inside. Stopwatch? Alright. And let's just put the remainder of all this stuff in here as well. Doesn't really matter. Let's go fight an angel. We should be at least dealing an amount of damage now, especially with that pencil. My tear rate could be a little bit higher, but that's ultimately fine. And get an extra heart from that. Boomerang, not super exciting. Bigger tears, I mean, it looks more impressive. Keys you can at least just pick up, so that's good. So that was quite the long journey to get exactly one thing, but it is a pretty nice thing to have. And we have a key piece now. I'm just gonna put everything else all willy-nilly inside here. I will just try to get all the money that we can. Dad's key, well, that simplifies things a lot as well. So we'll actually just replace that. I could have turned that into something else, but at this stage, it doesn't really matter too much. But with Dad's key, we don't need any more key pieces, so that's obviously nice. It means we don't have to fight any more angels. And honestly, this is a build that would probably be okay. It'll get the job done. I'm not really too interested in this because that's not going to give us a whole lot. Halo, sure. That's at least more tear rate, which I can always appreciate. But it's also more damage in a not insignificant way. And our health situation's pretty great. And yeah, it's just all good stuff. If we didn't get an angel room, you know, we'll actually take this, then we could have created a recipe that's 8 bone hearts, which creates an item called the Death Certificate, which is usually unlocked around the time where you've done everything in the game, and it's pretty much the last thing you unlock. But because it's a fixed recipe, you can just make it. You can make everything that has a very specific fixed recipe in this game. The ones that are seed dependent. Those you cannot always make, and if it tries to become an item that you haven't unlocked yet, it'll just go to whatever the next item in the list is going to be. This is a little bit late, but fair enough. Should have explored the whole floor, that's my bad. Let's just create some more stuff here with this machine, because why not? But yeah, because it's a fixed recipe, you can just create the death certificate, and that will just give you access to every single item in the game. Or at least one copy of... You can choose an item, basically. So, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good thing to have. And, yeah. That is a way we could have done that as well. But fortunately, we didn't need to in the end. We don't really need any more keys. Book of Sins is an active item, so maybe not. Card deck, I don't care about too much just because we have that safety. Flush, again, active item. And I think from this point on, we're just going to keep going. I'm not really too interested in wasting any more time on this. Let's just do a run to Mega Satan, try to deal with that. And if we get a Delirium Portal, then we're going to spend a little bit longer here. But if we don't get the Delirium Portal, then that's fine as well. I would love like some kind of flight or transformation of any kind, really, but we'll see what we can get. There's the Alabaster Box again. I guess I'm going to replace a bomb soon with something else. Did I just replace a coin to make flush? I do not actually remember. That would have been a nice little thing to actually remember. Unfortunately, I did not. So we're just going to replace the key for Mom's Pearl, sure. And I'm just gonna create things willy-nilly from this point on, because we don't particularly need much of anything anymore. And I can appreciate that. It's just a nice thing to make even a build where all your easy-to-craft recipes are not great, to at least more or less guarantee that you're going to get something to happen. So, all in all, that's pretty great. That creates bombs. And again, any item that creates any item is just... And any item that creates consumables is just wonderful. If we do end up having to extend the length of this run, because in theory, if you do get a Delirium Portal, you can just get everything. You can unlock every single thing in one run for this character, and that would just be wonderful. If we were able to do that. If not, fine. It's not the biggest deal to have to do that again, and honestly, if we do not get a Delirium Portal, then the next run will more or less look like this. Able? I'll actually take that. It'll more or less look like this, only I'll just do it in a secret room instead, and then we'll just create some build that requires 4 items to just destroy everything. And it'll just be nice and quick, so... Either way, it doesn't matter too much, but obviously, if we could just get everything done in one run, then I only need to have one Tainted Cain video, and I would appreciate that, especially since it's patched Tainted Cain, where... People genuinely do believe that it is quite difficult, and I understand, because it genuinely took me like a week of practice to get to the point where I felt somewhat comfortable figuring out how this character actually played and how you can actually just get everything with him. But it did take a while to figure all that stuff out. Also, the range of this bag is also based on your regular range. So... You gotta keep that in mind at least a little bit as well when playing this character, because occasionally you can just get to ranges where it becomes fairly unusable, so you do gotta look out a little bit for that. I'm a little tempted to look around a little bit for another golden bomb, because there is a fixed recipe as well that if you put 2 golden bombs and 6 regular bombs in one thing, then you just get Mama Mega. And there are some instances where that is just fairly craftable. Like in this instance, I just got a golden bomb, so there's at least like a chance that we can make something happen with that. But if you don't get something like that, you could get the everything jar as a somewhat easy to craft item. Like if you get 7 coins and then 1 key or 1 bomb, you're technically in the range of being able to craft that, and that's just rather nice. And the everything jar gives you a golden bomb every 11 rooms, I think it is, based on charge rates of the item. It's kind of a weird item, but you can get just really useful consumables for specifically this character, which is very nice. That's the pickaxe, which is not bad, but not quite what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for my secret room as well, because it should be somewhere. There's a thin room over there, so it's not over there. But yeah, there's just a lot of planning that comes into this character, and I do think he's more interesting now than he was. I do think they've made cheesing just more tedious. They haven't made it impossible, they just made it slow, and I don't really care about that too much. But I can kind of understand why they decided to do it, because it's a big game breaking. There's another golden bomb there. I'm gonna... getting kind of a weird run. Because it would be kind of nice to just get Mama Mega, because then we can do boss rush. Simultaneously, I do not remember how I created Dad's Key, so that's not great. I will just blow this up because I don't really want to spend more time on this floor. That's an active item. I won't take the Rotten Heart because that can create some certain recipes as well. That lowered my damage a bit because of the conjoin, but fair enough. If we can create some kind of homing, that would actually be kind of nice. Also, I probably should have put the golden key in my recipe because that's a pretty expensive item for recipe purposes, and then you can create some higher item quality items, so that would just be kind of nice, but yeah, fair enough. It doesn't matter too much at the end of the day. As you can, I guess the Sacred Heart also has some homing to go along with it anyway, so it doesn't matter too much in that regard. I don't know what my health actually is. Kind of forgot about that. Let's just put the golden key along with this, and then hopefully just create whatever this is going to be, and then start working towards the Mama Mega not transformation, creation, I suppose. Can I just take that? No. A little bit expensive for what it is, but fair enough, I suppose. And then hopefully we can get 6 more bombs on the next floor. The odds are pretty much in our favor just because we do have some good stuff going on there. We have a lot of ways to create items. We're dropping a lot of bombs with our little bomb sack as well. But obviously I would like to have some guaranteed way that we could actually go to Mega Satan at the end of this run. So I wouldn't love to get rid of certain things here. It's an arcade room. Just gonna play this for a little bit. We can probably just create some good stuff here. Kinda hoping we get at least 1 bomb out of this. There we go. And of course I could just cheese my way into another whatchamacallit. I could just cheese my way into another Dad's Key if necessary, but it's just, it takes quite long. I'd rather not bother for obvious reasons, but if needs must, then fair enough, I suppose. I will blow up that one for the extra Angel Room chance as well. Might as well take the red heart. Only 2 more bombs are required to actually do what I want to do here, so all in all, things are looking fairly positive. There we go. And as long as we can just get as much money as possible, then again, it doesn't really matter what we do because we can just keep creating things using the portable slot. If you have 99 coins, the odds are fairly in your favor that you can either get to the point where you can create 8 bombs or 8 coins or 8 red hearts, because all of those turn into active items, and that's just really nice. I'm just gonna do this and hope it works out. We can probably get another Angel Room anyway, so I'm just gonna hope that that's true. It's not exactly based on facts, but it'll hopefully work out. I should probably get some more red hearts though. Magic 8 Ball, I mean, does increase our planetarium chance for the no more floors. Although we do have the trinket. Actually, yeah, I'll actually take this. Because that should actually give the trinket that we have now right now creates planetariums on the next floor as well. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Didn't even know I was holding it, if I'm being honest, but fair enough. But yeah, the trinket that we have right now creates planetariums in the womb. So we can at least get some extra items from that. It's not exactly the most useful thing because nothing really interesting happens there for Tainted Cain, for as far as I could tell at least. But, you know, we'll see if we can make some kind of use out of it. Plus perhaps there is actually just a planetarium on this floor, and then it'll just go down to 1% from that point, and then it doesn't really matter. But we'll see. Let's not touch that. I should have a couple of keys available, I suppose, just for good measure. The main reason why I haven't used Mama Mega yet, by the way, in case you're wondering, because it might not be obvious. Well, okay. I was gonna say the main reason that I wasn't using Mama Mega was because I needed... if there is an angel room, then I cannot actually go into it if I use Mama Mega before that, because if I do, then the boss rush door is going to close again, and I don't really want that to happen. But then I just got the recipe for Dad's Key again, so we're done with crafting for this floor, I suppose. Would have been nice if I didn't accidentally use that Fool card, because then we could at least craft a few more things here and there, but yeah, fine. Does mean I'm just going to take everything, I suppose. And then after destroying the boss, I'll just craft Dad's Key again, and that'll be that. We can at least gather a large quantity of consumables this way, so it is rather nice in that regard. Because otherwise I would be picking up most of them, so at least we have some stuff to work with if necessary. If I unfortunately practice this character too much is really the main bother about the whole thing, because when I first had an idea of like, yeah, I can play this character to a point where I feel comfortable winning the run, and I didn't actually realize you can just craft anything at that point. Nope. And maybe at that point I should just stop practicing and then moved on with the character. And then I accidentally realized that you can actually just, you can just do whatever you want. And now it just kind of feels like I'm going through the motions. But, I mean, what are you gonna do? It's, I guess, my own fault, but at the same time I really enjoyed practicing this character as well. Roughly up until the point where I realized that there was no point to any of it. There was no point. If you just spend long enough, then nothing matters. But, yeah, fair enough. I'll actually go for the damage, and let's go do us a boss rush, create Dad's Key. And let's actually just get rid of all the enemies that created from that. There is a rune bag, but that doesn't matter. I thought I actually turned off those descriptions. Fair enough. Doesn't really matter. It mostly matters if you go into the whatchamacallit, the death certificate place, because every item in the game is on a pedestal there, and it just becomes awful because it's just continuously changing text as you're walking through the room, and it's just rather flashy, and I don't really want to deal with that. But there is still a chance that we do not actually have to bother with any of that, so that's good. But again, if we do end up getting a delirium portal, then I will just spend some time in the secret room to craft a couple of death certificates and hopefully get like rock bottom soy milk or something like that. That's really the only thing that's necessary to have a good time. Maybe a little bit of homing. We'll just see what life brings us, I suppose. I'm not picking up any of the soul hearts because I kind of want to have the protection as well. There's a bone heart right there. Maybe I'll turn the soul hearts into recipes of some kind, but we'll see at the end of the day. I'm kind of happy, I suppose, that we got boss rush out of the way, because it does mean that it's one less Mama Mega that we have to worry about. Because if I also wanted to do Hush, then at that point I'd have to craft another Mama Mega. And the main reason why I'm not doing Hush immediately, again, is just because there is that chance that we're just going to be able to not do Delirium during this run. And if we don't do Delirium during this run, then I want to take a portal from Hush to Delirium, so we guarantee that whole thing, and blah 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 blah. So it would just be nice to get all that out of the way. I am taking every red heart just because health is nice. You could argue that creating the wafer is kind of nice to have at this point as well, just because it's a lot of extra safety and it pretty much guarantees you're not going to die. But the builds you create with this character are so strong. The moment Sacred Heart comes into any build, it's just really powerful, and as long as you can just get even slightly more damage on top of that, you just end up getting such a powerful thing. But also we could just craft a magic mushroom using the death certificate again, and then we will also just have so much damage that nothing matters anymore. There's another golden bomb there. We're actually getting so many of those. That is actually quite surprising, because I was genuinely struggling to get any golden balls most of the time. Like if I had the everything jar, then obviously they're fairly guaranteed, but if you do not have that, I was genuinely struggling to get much of anything going on in that regard, so I'm surprised to see how many are actually showing up in this run, because it's like the 4th one already. But fair enough, I suppose. I'll take it. I am just going to put everything here in my bag. There we go. That is the boss rush completed. Let's just take that as well. Quad shot. That is interesting. I'll actually take that. Why not? And let's just turn a bunch of stuff into a bunch of stuff. There's the King Baby again. Maybe not that one. Black Lotus heals, but doesn't really do much else for us. That's luck +2 and not much else either. Where luck is at 6 right now, so could be interesting, I suppose. It does kind of get us closer to that cap. That's an extra life, which is honestly not too terrible either. That's a not great book. Coupon. I'll take that. Not sure why. My speed was already maxed out. Don't worry about it. I made my choice. Let's just move on. There were definitely better choices in there. Don't worry about it. Nothing matters. We're just gonna keep moving on. We'll deal with whatever we have to deal with. There's the planetarium that I talked about. We have Curse of the Blind, which is not great because it means every time we gotta try to craft, it's gonna be that. And I don't want to lose Dad's key, so we are just gonna run to the boss and then move on to the next floor. Because I don't want to lose this. Plus, quite frankly, the things that we have right now are... they're fine. I'd say they're probably good enough to at least survive this floor and probably the next one as well. I should probably take the key at least, though. So I'm not like overly concerned, but Curse of the Blind is like one of the worst things for this character, just because creating items is so important and you don't want to mess up your build. So it's a little annoying. We'll get past it, but I'd rather not. I'm not sure if the death certificate place is affected by Curse of the Blind, because if it is, then it's not a great use. It is, quite frankly, just not ideal. So, not sure why I picked up 2 coins there. I'm just gonna go with it. There's several items there. If we had some kind of flight, that would be kind of nice. And again, usually you'll just have some kind of fly-based item that's easy to craft, and you'll just create 3 of those. Even if it's the same one 3 times, you'll still get that Lord of the Flies transformation, and you'll be able to fly. And from the look of things, we have 0 flies, so it's unfortunate is what it is. Not the end of the world as per usual, but it's just a little annoying. Quad shot seems to be working out along with the homing of Sacred Heart, so that's good. I should probably use the key a couple more times so we could find maybe our super secret room, but again, it doesn't matter too much. I will just run past this because I cannot be bothered. Somewhat regret it because this room's probably worse, but fair enough. I also kind of want to get rid of that 2 of diamonds, but I'm just keeping it just so we can guarantee that we 100% have enough money for the portable slot nonsense that we could possibly do in the Delirium floor if need be, so I'm just like to have that with me for now. That is a Devil Deal, which is not great, but that's why we kept Dad's key. Because, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. Admittedly, 8 Black Hearts is a guaranteed Brimstone, but with Quad Shot, I'm not loving that just because it just takes so long. I don't want to deal with it. That's actually a very easy recipe for a Steam sale, by the way. That would have been a really nice thing to find earlier, but that's just the way it is sometimes. I don't really need that. Admittedly, it could turn into a Tears Up pill, but that's pretty much the only thing. That's not bad. That actually opens up the Mega Satan door as well. Arguably might be better, but yeah, fair enough. That's pretty good. This is also just one, like the piggy bank, you can, because you can create pretty much infinite money, you just, you win. you just win, because you can just keep damaging yourself to create more money most days. And that will often just lead to good times rather than bad, so it's just nice. This is probably the only Tainted Cain run, even counting the practice runs, where I didn't manage to get flight of any kind yet. And admittedly, if I went for more Black Hearts like in the Devil Deal, then you are a little bit more likely, I feel, to get them. But I'm not too bothered. So far, things seem to be working out just fine, and that's nice. We're gonna go to the lamb, and then we'll just have all that done as well. At the end of the day, there's just a lot of stuff that we're gonna have done, so that's good. We did end up getting that second angel, so we'll actually just replace Dad's key soon, I think. It's no longer necessary, at least, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. I will just put the Eternal Heart in there. I could go for Spun, I guess. I'm gonna drop the 2 of diamonds here for a moment because it is getting in the way a little bit. It makes it a little bit more difficult to craft. This actually is kind of fun. I will take that. Not necessarily amazing or anything, but it's amusing. And sometimes that's exactly what a build needs. Plus it creates piercing shots, which is pretty nice. I could use my shot speed to be a little bit lower, I guess, just because we have those piercing tiers, but it doesn't matter too much at the end of the day. Also, I probably should actually just use, like, grab the soul heart rather than put it in the bag, but we might be able to create something interesting. Libraries are usually just ridiculous as well, so that's because it's just 2 items. And obviously that can just lead to so much good stuff. That's the box of friends, which is kind of neat, but not like super exciting. Coupon. Battery baby. I'll actually take that. Why not? How to jump. I don't think you can get the bookworm transformation as this character because it seems to just like leave whenever you don't have the active item anymore, but I'm not sure if that's true. Genuinely not 100% sure about how that works, but I haven't gotten it as this character and that just surprises me. I'll actually take this because that's just going to create chain reactions in a lot of places. Probably not as much anymore from this point on, but it's at least something. There we go. Might as well grab all of this. Dog food, sure. A little bit of extra health never hurt everyone. Never hurt everyone. We have stopwatch, so I kind of forgot about the timing there, but that's fine. Using the multi-dimensional baby shots might not be obvious, but I'm fairly sure they are still being activated by me shooting these giant tears through it. And yeah, my build's pretty good. My build's pretty effective right now, I would say. It took a while. It took us 52 minutes to get here, but most of that was just in preparation. Kamikaze is not great unless we can get Pyromaniac, but even then it's just not that interesting, so let's just move on. The door should open thanks to the key that we have. I'm probably not too interested in spending a bunch of health to get no items because it's all just going to be consumables again. Mapping, I guess, would have been nice, thinking about it. Yeah, but it's fine. We're going to get a bunch of consumables from just stuff here. So that's quite nice. Bread. Alabaster box again. It's showing up a lot, but I've probably been creating the same recipe over and over. Lucky coin. I'll actually just take that and put that in the bag. And see if we can create something more interesting with that. Not really sure if I'm looking for anything in particular at this stage. But anything that'll just make this more ridiculous is great. Like if we could get technology or something like that, that'd be fun. Wouldn't necessarily make the build... it probably would make the build better actually, so that would be a nice find. For sure. Deep pockets, that's guaranteed win. More or less, we can... because deep pockets just creates a whole bunch of coins on the floor, and that just ends up being whatever you need in most situations, really. It's technically not a guaranteed win, but it's about as close as you can reasonably get, I feel. That's not quite what I'm looking for. Yeah, that'll do. That's actually a lot of protection, and also it lowered my shot speed a little bit, which I can actually appreciate because it makes the shots in general just a little bit better, but also against Delirium we're effectively invulnerable now, so if we do get a Delirium portal I would actually be quite happy with it, because it would genuinely save quite a lot of time. We have a good build going on, one that can definitely take down Delirium as well, which is obviously what we're looking for. Guillotine once again. I probably am not going to do the entire floor here because there's no point. There's no real necessity there. Let's just drop the 2 of diamonds for a moment. I could just use it, admittedly, because at this point nothing really matters. Let's just take that. Yeah, let's just get our money to a ridiculous amount. If we end up needing it, then that would be nice. There we go. Look at that. That's one part down, that's 2 parts down. Absolutely disgusting. So there's a couple things that I haven't shown off with this character, unfortunately, in this build, but specifically if you can get something like Hallowed Ground and the poop transformation, you just become invulnerable. Because well, at least for like sacrifice rooms in particular, because you can just take the damage, then Hallowed Ground, the poop will fall on the floor, and then you can destroy the poop to heal half a red heart. So if you have 1 bone heart, which you can just reliably create thanks to how this character works, you can just go all the way to the end of the sacrifice room that way. I'll actually take this just because I've never seen it before. It's not great, but I mean, it's something. I did say I wasn't going to do the entire floor, and now we're doing the entire floor from the look of things, so maybe I should actually just go to Mega Satan. There we go, that's what I needed. That's the glue that keeps this build together, and now we're ready to go to Mega Satan. And we will see if this run is going to take yet another hour. Because that's ultimately what the Delirium Portal means at the end of the day. The tiers are not all getting blocked, unfortunately, so that's a little peculiar, but fair enough, I suppose. Flight would have been really nice to make it a little bit safer, but again, I think we're compensating for that with the amount of damage that we're currently dealing, so I guess it's fine. Even though creep may land on the floor on occasion, it's just not as scary as it oftentimes is. So, fair enough. Mega Satan's just not even doing anything anymore. These stairs are just hanging out in the enemies and just continuously dealing damage. So all in all, I'm not really too bothered by how things are going right now, I suppose. Like, we haven't actually taken damage yet, so all in all, that's usually a sign that your build's pretty good. It could look a lot more interesting with rock bottom soy milk, though, and that's one of the reasons why I'm a little bit tempted to do that, but at the same time, I don't really need to. Although against Delirium, it would be like a really nice little safety net. So I don't even hate the idea that much. But we'll see what we have to do at the end of this fight. We could just call it a day at the end of this, and that would also be a choice. It would make it a little bit quicker for me to get dinner at that point, so that would be quite nice, and yep, fair enough. That's how it goes sometimes. That's why we did Mega Satan first. We unlocked the gold pill, which is actually a useful consumable as this character as well, because it does go into recipes, and it is a pretty high value item, and as such you can create items with better quality, so it's all good. It's all fine. Either way, that is the patch Tainted Cain. And yeah, really, it's a bit slower, but you still get a lot of stuff done. Next run with this character, we'll just get the rest. And yeah, it is what it is. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Next time we play, we'll be doing another one with another character, though, but maybe somewhere in this week. I'll just finish this character off because I kind of want to be done with it. And we'll see about that some other time. And I hope to see y'all there. Bye-bye.